Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the fifth edition of the Rambling Reverend, or whatever we're going to end up calling this. So this week is an interesting week. The carpet in my new office got laid, and so we're going to move everything over there. I've been thinking a lot about making sure my library gets nicely sorted, because that is one of the interesting things that's always on the front of my mind. And a current event that I doubt a lot of people outside of a very small group realize is that the number 2 time ever ran in the women's 400 meter was run in the last day by Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, and she went sub 48, 47 and some change. Just absolutely incredible. The new American record, just I believe 0.2 of a second away from the 3-decade or 2.5-decade old 400 meter record at that point. So just incredible right there. And thinking about this current moment of time, oftentimes we're very negative of the time and space that we're living. I'm one of those people who gets very doom and gloom, frustrated at the overwhelming political grossness that we see going on in so many different ways, current events that just dishearten us and everything else. But I want to pause and just celebrate the reality right now, at least in the running world, that we have had the privilege in the last 9 years. So the last 9 years have been very frustrating for many people, but in the last 9 years, think about this. We've been able to watch Jakob Ingebrigtsen completely dominate 1,500 to 5K distance. We've watched Jacob Kiplimo do an incredible half marathon. We've watched Eliud Kipchoge dominate, Kelvin Kiptum. We've seen the end of the Usain Bolt era, but then new rivalries developing inside of the sprinter world. And I want to just appreciate our moment in time. Nostalgia is very dangerous, where we think about that time and place that was mythically better, and we can have snippets that we choose from then that were better than the now. It's dangerous. We need to find ways to appreciate the here and now. Also, something that just became plain evident to me, I know I spend way too much time on Facebook, online, on social media, on my phone, and it is destroying us. The presence of social media is a catalyst upon every fire. And you might believe that you are surrounded by a bunch of people who are terrible and that they are doing something. But when's the last time you just simply went out and had coffee or lunch with someone? I think so often we get lost in the digital world of arguments where that is not truth. Engage in relationship over online dialogue. And then it just reminds me of a very funny picture that gets posted frequently by a couple of online commentators that I appreciate their voice. It's a picture of hundreds of phones plugged in and all tied into one single motherboard or something like that. And the statement is, these are the people you're arguing with online. It's very easy to think that you're arguing and the whole humanity is on the line. But if you look at the truth of how many people, at least on Twitter, how many accounts on Twitter are just bots that are not a real person, but they're a bot programmed to engage content. So that person that you might have spent hours of your life fuming over, that responded to some tweet, that might not even be a real human. And so let's pull into the current reality. You are a human being. You're meant to be in relationship with people. If you're a college student, engage with the reality of the whole of your dormitory. Know people who are around you. Know your neighbors. Know your roommates. Have your best friends not be the people that you're gaming against that are some place that you talk into a headphone. Have your best friends be the people who are there, who can actually respond. Go explore something new. Think about all the stereotypes of different people that you might have heard about. You're going to interact with them. They're in your dorm. They're in your classes. Get to know people. Don't just have the statement is a straw man argument of who someone is. Actually get to know other people. Actually understand their reasoning and their logic. People are infinitely complex and can't be reduced down to simplicities. And so, another rambling point and update. If you'll notice, I have no band-aids on my hands. I'm finally bandage free. The healing from my fall is getting there, although I figured out that on my ring finger it was healing wrong next to my fingernail, and so my actual ring finger is the most current damage of what happened, and it's still pretty painful, but we're moving forward there. My girls got to participate in a cross-country meet this week, and my first grader took fourth, my fourth grader took seventh, outstanding in the races. The frustrating but funny thing, we were told that it's going to be a half-mile race for the youngest groups, but then for my oldest child and then the next age group up, there's going to be a mile race. And my daughter and a couple of her teammates were so frustrated when it was announced on the line it's only a half-mile race. So it was 1 lap instead of 2 laps around the course. And I couldn't be more proud of my daughter for wanting to do a longer cross-country race. So that was fun. But I frequently think about what is the purpose of youth sports. So my wife was a collegiate track and field athlete. She was actually 2-time national champion in the NAIA and was 3-time runner-up for indoor and outdoor track and field in her events. And I was a fairly okay mid-distance runner in high school, chose not to run in college. And I think about how we could be projecting onto our kids this expectation of excellence at a youth age, and that we could try to be thinking about, future college scholarships, and when we see their potential, rather than how do we celebrate childhood and let kids enjoy something that they enjoy. Like, it should be a beautiful thing. People mourned the loss of amateurhood whenever the transfer portal and the NIL entered into college sports. Well, let's let kids have kids sports and not worry about letting a sport dominate their life. Let's let recreation be recreation. So final thing I want to ramble about is there's a book called The Crabby Cranky Crow Saves the World. And the title is a whole lot bigger than The Saves the World, which is a small subtitle. And it's about this crow that seems really, really crabby. A squirrel comes up and it just caws at it. And a bat and a bird and a cat, and they're all trying to do something with this crow. And he's just, it seems very angry and hostile and makes everyone scatter away. And then it turns out that this crow is a secret agent who knew that an asteroid was crashing into the Earth soon, and he wanted to make everyone go away from the impact site so then he could go up in a rocket and blow up the asteroid. And if it was successful, he was able to come and invite all the other people, all the animals back, and they could watch this meteor shower. And I point that out because I do this very often, where I assume someone is cranky and crabby, and I don't think about the why. And then I don't have a relationship with that person, and I never see the beauty of them. And one of my most pleasant surprises is in the last couple weeks, having conversations with people where they break the norm and the stereotype that I had of them, and just a rich fellowship and conversation happens. So all this goes back to the circle of make sure you are, people calling me, make sure, by people I mean it was a spam call, those have been happening a lot since the move. Make sure you have actual conversations with people, hug someone, make relationships, it matters. Don't allow yourself to get sucked down the rabbit hole of living online, having enemies, and thinking of anyone that's different than you as evil and other. Find ways to bridge the gap, have relationships, and celebrate the beauty and diversity of humanity and how each person has a story to tell. All right, bye.